What is the
That's right.
question?
There's good. We're going to get into our famous segment. Usually we do a little early in the show, but this is going to maven our show. Good for business, bad for business. Do we want The Rock or do we want Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes shows up to SmackDown. He tells Roman Reigns, I want to beat you at WrestleMania for that championship. I want to finish the story, but not this year. No, but just not this year, this WrestleMania. The Rock music hits. He comes out. He looks at Cody. He gives him a dap. He brings him in, gives him a hug. The show goes off the air. What the heck goes on? There's an initial buzz because anytime The Rock comes back, it's like it's going to be pandemonium. Then all of a sudden, the world erupted. I don't think we got the response that we thought we were supposed to get because now all of a sudden there's been a hashtag going around saying, we want Cody.
Sure.
So a few weeks ago, people were making fun of saying, oh, Cody Rhodes again, including Brian H. Talking
Yep.
about, oh, Cody Rhodes again. Who wants that? We don't see that again. And then, like, when people got up behind it and then The Rock comes back, everybody's like, oh, The Rock's back. They're like, no, wait a minute. We want Cody. Which one is this, brothers? We have to figure out and we have to come to a conclusion as a faction. Is this good for business or is this bad for business? Cody Rhodes allegedly giving up his spot at WrestleMania to face Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship and forego finishing his story. I'm going to go last is because I'm going to rant and I'm long-winded. Somebody please jump and explain to me what the heck is going on. Good for business. Go ahead.
I'm going to say it's good for business.
Tell me why it's good for business. Because Brian H. did something this week and he went on and he said, fans need to calm down. Cody Rhodes is going to be okay. But before you go, Brother Hugh, a couple of things happened after Brian H. uploaded that. And all of a sudden, I don't think I was as convinced as Brian H. almost had because I was like, you know what, Brian H. is right. But then I said, wait a minute. Something seems off about this. So go ahead, Brother Hugh.
Now, I was going to say because in the first place, what were fans asking for in the first place? Rock and Roman, right?
Yep.
Yes. To finish the
So
bloodline story.
we're getting it. We're pretty much getting that now, right? So I don't see the issue. But at first, when I was looking at it, I thought maybe they could have did it differently as far as introducing The Rock. Maybe have him enter the Royal Rumble. I don't know, win it. I don't know.
Please put a pin on that idea, Brother Hugh. I'm going to come back to that point. Like this, imagine we're looking at a digital bookmark and I said, boop. And at that point you just made, I'm putting like an asterisk next to that. Please continue. This is going to get good.
But the way they try to flip the story, I kind of like it. The more and more you think about it, I kind of like it.
What do you mean flip the story, Brother Hugh? What do you mean?
As far
what are
as
you saying?
As far as it's not Cody's giving up his spot. You know, it's more like he's trying to end. All right, the bloodline is a plague. He's trying to find a way to get rid of the plague once and for all. So the only way you can possibly do that is to bring in something or someone that's connected to them to get rid of them. So it makes sense the way they try to break it down.
It doesn't make sense.
We're not even talking about what's going to happen with Cody. Number one, Cody, he's younger. We're going to see him for a long time now. You know, as opposed to The Rock. When are we going to get another match from The Rock?
But Brother Hugh,
let's be honest.
This is what's going into my brain right now, and I'm telling you, this is not adding up. It's not making sense. Like you're saying all the right things, but because you're saying all the right things, I'm telling you, I smell a turd in the punch bowl.
Absolutely,
something seems
absolutely, off. Absolutely. Now Cody Rhodes. Now look, he's about to become the biggest baby face probably ever now. Ever.
Big time.
So
like he's the face of the franchise for real.
Man, you talking about John Cena? Nah, he's already surpassed him, bro.
He is. Look how big Brother Brandon's eyes got when you said that. He looked directly at the camera like you said, "What?"
Yeah, man. Like so, it's going to work out for Cody either way. So imagine when he finally does.
That's a good. That's also a good way
finish
to put
that story.
Work
oh my gosh, bro! Imagine that pop.
Yeah.
And Brian keeps saying it. WrestleMania was it 41? Can we get in at ATL to finish it up?
Something's off.
Also, I mean, I don't see The Rock winning, but possibly get Roman breaking that record too, or
Brian
surpassing Hogan.
Brian H is going to be conflicted. I'm gonna get to you, Brian H. But Brother Brandon,
No, let Brian
Good
go.
for bit.
Let
No,
Brian
no.
go.
I wanted to go
No,
second to last.
You,
no, I
okay,
want to
okay.
go
So go
right
ahead.
before Dwayne. I want to go right before
Okay.
Dwayne because I
So
gotta mess up his.
no.
I gotta mess up
Brian
his
H is
theory.
going.
Hey, rock
Brian H
paper
is going to
scissors
go
right
second
now.
to last. So I'll go, and then Brian H, you go, and then brother Brandon, you first, because I'm not going to let him disrupt my thinking, because this is what he does,
Okay,
and I'm gonna get my point out first before he disrupts
so
my
I'm gonna
thinking. And
send
then,
you my notes so that way if one of y'all say it, you gonna laugh
okay, cool,
because. All right, I'm gonna
even
do
better.
that. All right.
And I'm gonna talk directly to brother Hugh, because these guys, they about to cook, as you say. These guys are about to
Yeah.
cook. This is what everybody came into the show to
Right.
listen to. Let me tell you why this doesn't make sense to me, brother Hugh. You said
Why
some
is
very
that?
key things, and I'm like, bro, doesn't make sense, right? We know CM
Hmm.
Punk went down with an injury. We knew he had to replace something.
Yeah.
The Rock had already made it clear when they asked him about main eventing WrestleMania when he signed on to be on the board of directors. He said, it would be great to do that, but we got to make that big. We got to build it. I don't ever remember the WWE rushing to do anything, right? So you go from saying
Right.
like, let's if we're going to do this, let's do this the right way. All of a sudden, now we're doing it. Doesn't make sense to me. Cody Rhodes at finally at that peak where people are like, yo, it's time to end this bloodline storyline. It's time to take Roman down. All of a sudden, he just graciously gives up that spot for The Rock. Now, at first, I was like, okay, hey, that makes sense. You know what? He did the ultimate company man thing. This is what Brian had me thinking. I was like, well, he did the right thing. The company needs him. They had to call audible. He made the ultimate sacrifice, and it doesn't hurt to make the ultimate sacrifice to the new
Absolutely.
one of the new members that sit on the board. He's ultimately the boss. He's like, look, I'm giving up my spot because this was best for business. If you're gonna make a sacrifice for the company, for anybody, it's for the new person on the board of directors, and it's The Rock, right? That will make sense to give
Right.
up that because The Rock says, listen, you're doing the right thing because you're proving that you're going to be the face. We're going to make sure you get everything and more. Just the fact that you're giving this up. I said, okay, that makes sense. But then all of a sudden, wait a minute. Why would The Rock not wrestle and come back 2 months before WrestleMania and think he's going to main event against Roman Reigns? Listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I didn't watch the Rock DVDs. He's always talked about how hard it is to get back in that ring after a long period of time and try to knock off that
Yeah.
ring rust.
Yeah.
Right? So what sense does it make for The Rock to come back? They never officially announced anything. They're saying it. Nothing has been announced. The Rock comes back. They have an exchange. No words have been exchanged. All Cody Rhodes said was, I'm not doing it at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Right? We also watched, and I'm hoping I'm changing Brian H's thoughts and hoping, and I don't think I am, but I'm trying. We watched them have to change a main event before because of Daniel Bryan when Batista won the Royal Rumble, and everybody's like, no, you guys messed up again. This is not what we asked for, right? So then all of a sudden we started getting these "we want Cody" hashtags thing. I'm like, wait. So this is a
I was
thing?
about to say.
I didn't know it was a real thing
I love.
because I think I
Hmm.
missed SmackDown. I didn't see it live. I got it. I was like, and then a fan goes, yo, they're handing out these "we want Cody" signs at Raw all of a sudden. Yes, right. I'm breaking kayfabe. I don't care because I'm sick of Triple H screwing with my brain. I'm an intelligent wrestling fan, and he's getting over on me, and I hate it. So I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. How's The Rock
Right.
going to come back after not wrestling for years, jump in the ring in 2 months and main event against WrestleMania to close this bloodline storyline out? Okay, guess what? He goes, he loses. What benefits that? So you sell some tickets and The Rock loses at WrestleMania to Roman. Roman becomes the all-time greatest, whatever, only for him to lose eventually, right?
Hmm.
So he had to wait till Madison Square Garden. Cody beats him there, and then Cody finishes the story. Why would the company pass up any opportunity to move something forward like the Cody Rhodes era just to have that moment to have Roman break those records? It's possible, but it doesn't make sense to me. Something is off. After a while, I started watching Brother Hugh, and I said, yo, I think we're being worked. Something's off. I
Right.
don't trust
Yeah.
Triple H, man. I didn't think it was that serious before because it's never been this complicated when it comes to WrestleMania. These big events like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, they've been showcase events like boxing, like, you know what I mean? Like the circus. It doesn't have to necessarily forward storylines. It doesn't have to make. It just has to make enough sense for us to put on a good show for the fans. That was always the McMahon way. That's what we got. That's what we're used to. We're getting to the buildup of WrestleMania, and I'm like, why is there storylines involved in the goddamn buildup? Tell me who's going to be wrestling somebody. Because guess what? All of a sudden, bam, Drew McIntyre decides he wants to attack Cody Rhodes on Raw. Like, bro, what is going on? He's trolling CM Punk with that T-shirt. Seth Rollins is begging for Cody Rhodes to face him at WrestleMania. He's not saying anything. He's smirking and looking left to right. I'm like, yo, why are they doing it this year? This that Triple H does. Where like it's never been this complicated for them to make a decision. Flat out, hey, I won Royal Rumble. This is what I've done. It's been a contest. Now, all of a sudden, we have never seen the Royal Rumble winner conflicted. You won the Rumble. It should be easy for you. Pick a world champion and win the title. Now, all of a sudden, he's conflicted. He's stuck between two worlds. He's stuck between one level and another level. And if it's for business purposes, okay, I understand it. But guess what, though? All of a sudden, now your Royal Rumble winner is conflicted on which title he wants to go for. He's giving up an opportunity to finish. Why? Cody Rhodes never said why. He said, I'm not going after you, Roman. But then if he says, okay, I'm going to let The Rock cook, why did he just answer Seth? And Seth was like, you playing games. Are we facing each other at WrestleMania? Not. I want this match. I need this match. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how healthy Seth Rollins really is.
There it is.
Something's off, man. I'm telling you, and it's and I came to the conclusion, and I'm done. I think we're being worked. I think this whole press conference in Vegas, I think Elimination Chamber, I don't know what it is. Before, back in the day, I think they are purposely selling WrestleMania. They are selling everything leading up to WrestleMania. So you had no choice but to freaking tune in and pay attention to what happens next, because they're being coy. They're not being clear. They're not telling us what's going on. Roman hasn't responded. The Rock didn't say any words. Cody's cat got his tongue when Steph is talking to him, and now all of a sudden Drew McIntyre beats him up. Oh, then all of a sudden Sami Zayn's having the epiphany. He's been talking to Triple H, and he's starting to feel some type of way. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Y'all are messing with me. Please tell me who's going to be in the WrestleMania main event, because y'all throwing me off. Not to mention, you got 2 nights. There's no saying that something might happen between night 1 and night 2, and somebody might double duty. I don't know. But I've come to the conclusion, I think they're messing with us. Brian H., the floor is yours, good brother. Good for business, bad for business. Cody Rhodes allegedly giving up his spot for The Rock 2 months before WrestleMania. Please make it make sense.
All right, that's first of all. So let me just say, because I haven't spoke on this, so I'm gonna take my time as unusual.
Okay, let me get the screen off so people can see what's going on.
Cody Rhodes, to answer that question right off the bat, is great for business for him to give up his spot to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm gonna just say something real quick. I am so sick of wrestling fans calling The Rock Dwayne. It has been the most biggest pet peeve of mine since 2011. Everybody think they all first name basis. And I got more rants. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the Patreon, as I did an episode of Ride With Me, especially everybody crying over this. Here's the thing. Cody Rhodes is going to be there. Cody Rhodes will be around. Him saying he has to destroy within, like you said, a plague. Wow. Exactly. When you think about, you have to go inside. You can't, because he can't attack Roman the same way he did. And
Excuse me. I got to take notes on it. I got to take notes because you said something already, brother. That's got my mind twisting already. I'm like, it's not clicking, man.
You cannot just you. It's like when you play a video game, right? And you keep playing it, you keep doing the same moves, you're gonna keep losing the same way. So you got to figure out, okay, how can I attack this differently? You have The Rock. First of all, it's The Rock. It's the match that we've been waiting for years, and I be god dog it. It's just like my sister Krista B just did a sound off. I've been waiting for this match for years. I've been to WrestleMania 38, 39, looking at the end of the night when after Roman's music, as me and brother Brandon had talked about, there's a part in Roman's music in the arena that does this solid transition.
That sounds like it wants to be the.
It makes you think you about to hear the "If You Smell." And, oh, not to mention Survivor Series. And wrestling fans are trying to ruin that for me. You already ruined Hulk Hogan. So I look back, August 2020, August 30th, 2020, Roman Reigns became the Universal Champion. Shortly after that, he deemed himself the head of the table. From that moment on, it was a seed planted.
Yes, it
Because
was.
never before have we been invited into that side of the Anawahi tribe, of the Samoan culture,
Mhm.
right? For years, he's told Jimmy and Jay, and now Solo, this is how I feed the family. I am the head of the table. I am the tribal chief. Now, usually, the way I understood is that in order for there has to be some sort of ceremonious or some sort of torch passing. We saw
True. By the
tribal
elders.
combat, right?
Mhm.
The
Tribal
el-
combat. Yep.
you bury out the elders, right? They put all
Mhm.
this on Roman. Rock never officially retired or left or anointed him as the next up, right? You look
He's the
at
grandson of the real chief,
the
the high
right,
chief,
exactly.
the high chief.
Who made
He's
all
legit the high
respected.
chief. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
He's the
you
patriarch
go
of their
watch Young
family.
Rock.
Yep.
Technically, his
Exactly.
mother would be the elder, right?
She qualifies
See,
as an elder.
she's the
She's the daughter of the high chief.
She's the
So
elder.
she's over Alpha and Sika. We haven't seen her get involved, right? So there's this complex story. You know, we saw Yokozuna. Yokozuna was the guy who was the head of the table and made sure people like you saw Yokozuna at the forefront. Granted, we know he was billed as Japanese, but
Mhm.
there are pictures where it's Yokozuna and it's Rikishi and Samu in front of him. But Yoko
Mhm.
is the Rodney Anawai is the high chief, is the tribal chief at that time. This is
Yes, he
Roman's
was.
time, but this is the point of he's making these statements. So now you have The Rock come in and say, all he got to do is if he says that, now we conflicted. Now we, and that's what he did on January 1st. Everybody was with it. Everybody was with it when he said at the head of the table. Everybody lost their minds. Nobody was checking for Cody then. We all had an idea Cody might win the Royal Rumble, but nobody, let's
Mhm.
be real. I go to last Friday. I'm watching. And when The Rock came out, I lost it. I was like, oh boy, we are cooking.
Yeah.
I didn't care about that. But then I went on the internet. No, before that, I remember tweeting because I knew Stephanie Hardy was there.
Mhm.
And I was like, I was happy that she was in the building for that. And it was another lady by the name of Brittany. I want to say 0078 or something like that on Twitter. Pardon me, Brittany. But she had tweeted earlier in the show, and this was doing the Bailey stuff. I said, oh man, you had a great SmackDown. Because that Bailey stuff, which we talked about, got overlooked, was phenomenal. Everybody that I've seen, it was nothing but cheers. And y'all remember when I came home and Brother Hugh came home from WrestleMania 28, we said we enjoyed it. We get on the internet in the elevator. We're like, wait, people didn't like it? Are you
Right?
That's what I saw Friday night. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? So then the next day, and I was like, okay, the IWC done did it again. They done filtered in. Now I'm seeing reports that that there wasn't signs from WWE, but there were fan signs that were being passed out. I'm hearing conflicting reports, but SRS is currently battling Twitter right now because he reported the Mercedes Moné stuff wrong, said she was headed back to WWE. Now he's trying to fight everybody on receipts. That's why you don't trust the dirt sheets. So all this discord about The Rock wanting to go over and Cody being upset, I'm not buying none of it. I believe we are being worked. I think what makes this different from WrestleMania 30 is nobody asked for Batista. People get out there saying it was the biggest Batista fans. Batista was booed the moment he was in the Rumble when Daniel Bryan was denied. Cody Rhodes, The Rock didn't get
Ray got booed that night. That was his first time ever getting booed. Wasn't it?
Thank you.
Great. He was number 30, and that was Ray was like, "What?" Because he was number 30, and it wasn't Daniel Bryan. He got booed.
Ray never got
Ray
booed.
left. And Ray after that he left. He said, "I gotta go."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Batista constantly getting booed. He was, and that it had to be a change because they had denied us Daniel Bryan, and they kept saying, "No, he isn't the guy." As much as we say he wanted to be the guy, I got his book.
Yes movement came alive.
The Yes movement came alive. He said in the book. he was slated to face Sheamus. Cody, the
Wow.
difference is we know Cody's going to finish the story. You don't win 2 Royal Rumbles, even if he don't win it this year, because everybody's an expert, right? And Cody wants to do Dusty's story. I got news for y'all. Dusty lost not once, but twice in a row at Starrcade. Didn't win at Starrcade. He won it at the Great American Bash.
Hey, yo, it took him 3 years, man. Crap.
Took him 3. Yep.
But I felt like the Great American Bash was a better place than Starrcade for him to win it.
Hello. And guess what?
But we talking about Dusty though. Remember that was Dusty. That was his story. And I don't know. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm just saying I feel like that.
Yeah.
When he won it felt like it was a better place for him to win it.
And Cody's creating his own story, right?
Oh crap, dude! I just realized something you said. Like it's really like the same thing. Like with Cody and the Bloodline, like Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Where like Dusty Rhodes was like constantly harassed for 3 years straight until he finally like
and
he didn't beat them. Yeah.
There are cracks in the Bloodline, but it's not fully broken. Because Solo is still in line. Jimmy is a little off the hinges. He needs some medicine, right? But
he's
going to get sent to take the Intercontinental, in my opinion, the Intercontinental title from Jay, or they're just going to have a match. They're going to have their feud.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to be sent after Jay.
Okay.
You know, Jay done made it clear he wants Gunther. Jimmy going to get sent after him. Don't be surprised, though, if Solo helps Jay takes the title just to get it on him so they can get it back in the fold, right? So the Bloodline isn't fully cracked. You don't have a crack until you got the person that Roman is most afraid of. That's when you really get the crack, and that's Solo. If you pay attention earlier, when Roman bumped into Solo, did he not? You know, he was punking Jimmy and Jay around like, no, do this, do as I say. But with Solo, he didn't mess with him. He was like, nah, my bad, you know, because Solo looked down. So until you crack him, until you get him to the point that you still and Cody Rhodes knows this. But who is the person seeking counsel, right? He go to the Rock. Rock, like you said, Rock can say, board of directors, look, you okay, give up this spot. I got to get the family back in order. And then Rock knows in order for him to kind of get Roman back in order, he got to take the title from him. But
so wait, so
Rock,
come on. So Rock has to beat Roman. Is that what you're saying?
No. In order for Rock the humble Roman, he got to take the title.
That's what I'm saying. So to successfully get the Bloodline back in order, you feel like Rock has to beat Roman.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right?
I'm gonna take
now
notes.
the crack in the Bloodline comes because now Solo is going to have to make a decision. Because
why?
Because we see him as being what, loyal to Roman, right? But
is he being loyal to Roman, or is he being loyal to his tradition? If Roman's the tribal, so it's like, is he loyal to Roman, or is he loyal to the tribal chief? So if the Rock, if they make it clear, tribal combat, you know, hey, I'm not your muscle, I'm the tribal chief muscle. It's him now. Is he not? I don't know. I'm asking.
There you go. Because now he's conflicted. So
this is getting good, brother. You got to take notes. This is because I'm a piece this together.
Whoever side Solo chooses, now it's a conflict. Now you done formally, all you gotta do is get them two in the ring together, Rock and Roman, because whoever, neither one of them is going to want to budge, right? You saw how they slowly walk towards each other. You know, that's that measuring. Everybody was out the ring, so now you create that. Now you got an issue, and now that allows Cody to sleep in, but he can't do that until after WrestleMania.
Whew, so man, that's heavy.
Did you forget that like Brother Brandon said this a long time ago? He's sent by the elders. Who like what's his real purpose? Like what is he what was he sent for? Right, Brother Brandon? Remember you talked about that?
Like it wasn't the wild part about the mother.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that too. Remember, I've been saying So the
Yeah, he
problem,
has.
and that's part of my argument. It's so first you finish Hollywood.
I'm gonna just say this, and I'll finish this. Cody can wait. Him giving up his spot is best for
Mm-hmm.
business. Cody can
Yeah.
take the world title, and without going down such a rabbit hole, far as we know, I know they just got new belts. You can make a merger of the titles when Cody has it because they not giving out Roman's title anyway. They're giving out legacy belts, right? So whether it's
Sure.
the world heavyweight title, that could be the championship, and you can bring that lineage back because we're under a whole new regime now. And this who's to say this regime would have split the titles in the first place? So you can book a story where Cody wins it at MSG in November or October after the record is passed, and boom, he gets the title. He can stand there. He can go in somewhere in the halls there, stand over superstar Billy Graham's statue or ground statue or whatever they call it, and say, "I did this for my daddy." But at the end of
That
the
doesn't.
day,
I'm conflicted about that. I'm gonna tell you why. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying that's just me as far as that's me fantasy booking as far as Cody doing this for his dad in MSG in the place that his father couldn't get it done at. But that's a possibility. But overall, they gotta create a crack in the bloodline. The crack it's not created yet. If Cody goes into WrestleMania, the same thing is going to happen. Solo's going to be right there. He's going to jam that thumb in his face, and he's going to lose.
Okay, so they got to create a crack, but the crack has not been created yet, right?
You got to create a conflict. Right now, there's no way to conflict. They're not going to. Solo's not going to be conflicted about helping an outsider. But now see with The Rock, because again, like y'all said, the elders, but maybe the High Chief's direct line. The High Chief's direct line.
He's the grandson of the High Chief. Like that matters. Oof, man, this is going to get brother. You keeping up with all this?
Yeah, I'm keeping up with it. Yep.
There's a few things I'm going to pose that I think going to be factors that we have to discuss, and then there's one or two questions that we have to answer before we like officially come to a conclusion as far as good for business, bad for business. The Rock taking over, the Cody Rhodes giving up his spot at WrestleMania for The Rock to finish this storyline, finish off the storyline of the bloodline. But Brother Brandon, it's your turn to sizzle, sir. You guys are doing excellent right now because I'm telling you, when I say I got notes, I thought I had notes for championship culture. Or like I'm here. Like I gotta they're there. Like
I see
those real words.
No, dude, like this is I'm keeping up because I'm telling you this what you're saying is making sense, but it's not correlating to what I'm seeing on TV and what I know. And I feel like they're doing it on purpose. And there's a few factors that I want to get you guys 2 cents on it. It's because I'm like, bro, something's off about this. Something doesn't seem all the way situated. But Brother Brandon, let's see what you can add to this puzzle, sir. Good for business, bad for business. Cody Rhodes, The Rock, WrestleMania.
So it's good for business because it's having us have this discussion right now.
Okay.
The other part, and I'm gonna tell you why it's good for business. Go back to Cody Rhodes' promo when he said Jay's gonna leave you, Jimmy's gonna leave you, Solo's gonna leave you. And he said, "Wise man, you'll be all by yourself," and that's when I'm gonna become the champion, right? We don't realize how impactful that promo is because WWE hasn't re-aired it. We don't realize that when Cody went to Raw and Roman was on SmackDown, they kept them separate for a reason. Triple H has done such a great job at any time he could say, boom, the feud's back on. When they had the tag team championship match and they were on SmackDown, it was like, oh, look. Oh, yeah, let's finish that story again. The buzz started to talk. Then they dropped the titles because of interference. We want to keep that going. It's always interference, right? But the problem I'm having with this whole story is a couple different things. First, Brian always say, about the Rumble, either you're going to make a new star or it's going to be a thing where, like, the next up person, right? I feel like the Rumble was wasted only to give Cody an accolade that he didn't need in his record book right now. I hope that, because it won't be another time for him to be a back-to-back winner to put his name alongside those 2-time winners, those Hall of Fames.
Now,
I mean,
are you
get-
talking in terms of it? Are you talking in terms of it being like a consolation prize almost?
No, I'm just
Like
saying
that,
he didn't like, and I'm trying to paraphrase how Brian said, because when he says it, it always dawns on me who's the next up, right? So if we
Sure.
keep that mind frame. Look at Rhea Ripley. I'm gonna just talk about the women. Look what it's done for her career. Look what it did for Sasha. We knew Sasha was on this trajectory, but then when that Royal Rumble hit, it was just like, yep, she's our person. And
no,
even
Bailey. Bianca won that one. Sasha didn't win.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Bianca. But I'm saying then the next year it was Rhea. It was like, oh, okay. Yeah. It usually tells us the story of we didn't know that we wanted it, but it's giving it to us, right? So this year it was so much behind. Oh, Cody's gonna have back to back, but we were conditioned with his adversity. Cody got to go through this. Cody got to go through that. So we all put outside our mind, oh, he's gonna lose because he's gonna get to the title at Chamber, right?
Yeah.
But we had too many factors. We got a CM Punk here. We got a Rock here. We got a oh Lord, this star, insert, right? And when the Rumble happened, I said, oh, that was cute. Cody won. Okay. I could have swore if I would have betted money, CM Punk was going to win it. Now, I never want anybody to go down for an injury, whether they call it audible, whatever it may be. I don't care. This is the next one I'm going to make, because as soon as that Rumble happened, the floodgates open for this is what's supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen. Talks to this, talks to that. In the last 30 days, we have had so much news, so many stories, so many. Well, this person said this person is reporting that. Do you understand? I think Triple H is smart enough to say, leak this out, leak that out. Because, first off, let's talk about this. Like, here's the thing that I don't understand. If you got somebody saying all of this stuff, right? You have a press conference coming up. About 50 days away from Rumble. It'll be about 50 days. How much? It's like 62 or 60 something, right?
About 60.
So 60 days away from the event. You're having a press conference for an event happening in 60 days. You are overshadowing a big paper PLE event in a country that you haven't been to since when? 1942 or something? I mean, what is let's call it what it is, right? Why is the press conference not focused on that? Or why are you not having an international press conference? You just saying, okay, Elimination Chamber going to happen. We good. We just sold out tickets. We're going to talk about the next pay-per-view, right? So we've only announced one match officially. The match, the poster for WrestleMania has The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody, Steph, Bianca, and Rhea, right? It only has those 6 superstars. The majority of them are champions, right? Let's call it what it is, right? So you got the majority of your champions on there, but you're going to promote that event that, to me, as a consumer, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch that. That's to pick up the other people and the other news sources to get them to watch it, because you have The Rock in it, and you want to know, oh, The Rock's back in wrestling? Somebody that's an attitude era child or a casual wrestling fan. Oh, well, let me see what he's going to do. Why is The Rock doing that? Because he's doing something now with the new company. Let me go see, right?
Also, remember what city they in. Also, remember what city they in. What's also taking place?
Las Vegas and what you call it?
The Super Bowl.
Yes, I was gonna say. So they're gonna captivate on it, right? So I'm pulling up my notes, right? So you got all of this stuff being leaked. You only got one match announced to satisfy the one thing for the actual wrestling fans that are watching, diehard wrestling fans. You got stuff for the casual wrestling fans, and now you got stuff for the person that don't even know what's going on. They're just like, oh, there's a press conference, right? And it's got The Rock in it, right? Right. Oh, he's back wrestling. So it's a reason that we got this press conference. It's a reason that Cody has been solid. It's a reason that we got all these things, because one of the things that came out of the dirt sheet is, oh, they're going to merge the titles back. And to me, I laughed. I said, Triple H didn't put his heart and soul into that World Heavyweight title just to say put it back together with the other one. Let's just call it what it is. That's his baby. That's his thing. That's his gimmick. It probably hurt his soul that he had to give up the Cruiserweight title, but that might be episode of Championship Culture. But
that was a nice
if you think about it, all right, what sense would it make
Smooth
that
segue, by the
we
way.
about to move to Netflix next year, and we're gonna be on USA. USA has historically said we want a champion. That's why we got the Universal title. So these dirt sheets, I automatically dismissed it because I'm like, USA ain't going for that unless the champion is going to be on there. And now Netflix is going to be ad free with Monday Night Raw or
Well,
Raw because
with premium subscriptions.
premium subscriptions, right?
Yeah.
You think they're not going to have a world champion or somebody they can identify that when you go on to see what you're about to watch, it's not going to have somebody plastered on the front with a belt? Come on now. So all these dirt sheets really start making me pay attention. Like, what are we doing? We still got the Elimination Chamber. Nobody's talking about. Why are we building so much? And then you have these other elements. Like Brian made a good point. Jimmy is a little crazy right now, but I love that he's a crazy gimmick because it's going to make for a good story when him and Jay, the red versus blue, Yeet versus no Yeet at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title, with Rikishi being the special guest referee. Because it's a reason they have not, and this is my last point I'm going to make. It's a reason they have not addressed the fact that there is no other family members in this storyline. I believe they're holding it off for a big payback. If you know anything about the Usos, they have a special place for that Intercontinental title, not only because their father had it, because Umaga had it, the man that got them into wrestling. So I think that's going to be the story that's going to unfold to give them that moment, because it would be special not only to them but to their family for them to see that match happen. And maybe Rikishi isn't the referee, but maybe he's some part of it that it's going to be, he's awarding whoever wins it the belt. And I honestly hope, and as much as this might sound crazy, Solo, when it's time for him to interfere in the Rock and Roman match, he looks at him and aligns himself with Rock. And then Roman's like, "What are you doing, Solo? What are you doing?" And the explanation is, The Rock sent him. I think that's going to be the crack that does it, is The Rock sent him because he is his mother is the elder, right? And I really, because we keep saying it about it, I believe that his mother, she's always at the events.
She is.
She really hasn't been shown on TV, but she's a wrestling fan. And you think she's not going to be there to watch her son?
Her whole career.
Yeah, think she's not going to be there to watch her son? So why not? Why not on his entrance, she put the lay on him? In a different color. Maybe he has.
Don't want this. Come on, man. I said, fans don't want this. Come on.
So, and my thing is, I understand why the fans don't want this. I understand the fans want it. We've been saying Rock versus Roman because I had the same feeling. I love that gimmick that after Roman won, somebody's music hit. And I kept waiting and waiting for the Rock's music to hit, and we never got it. If you didn't shove Cody Rhodes down our face, and I'm a Cody guy, had you not shoved him down our face, this wouldn't be Backlash. But I believe Triple H is doing this strategically, because what is the world buzzing about? And the number one trend was what? Cody Rhodes. The number one merchandise sale on, what was it, Saturday came out the report, was The Rock. Now, Brian might know this better than anybody because he supports Charles Line. He understands, he'll tell me stuff about, like, when the t-shirts go on sale and things like that. If there's a shirt being released, right? If right now The Undertaker came out with a shirt, we haven't had one for 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to automatically sell out. If a new color comes out, it's going to sell out. Do you think that wasn't by design, that we said, oh, The Rock's on there, busted out there, number one merchandise seller, number one trend, what's going to have the, what you call it, is Thursday, right? Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
The conference, right?
It's going to be the number one thing talking about, a hashtag.
Everybody's going to tune into.
Exactly. So Triple H and Nick Khan, not Tony.
You got
Nick.
the Khan.
He has figured the Khan, because I don't want to say because
not just
they have figured out the perfect balance of entertainment and wrestling to the point that now it's almost seamless that I don't know what we would be doing if it wasn't Triple H and the Khan, because he's given us the business aspect that Vince couldn't tap into. He was tapping in the wrong spaces, but Triple H is making sure. Oh God, I dealt with the wrong way.
I'm sorry.
I set myself up for that one. But
Wait, yeah,
Yep,
go
you
ahead.
kind of did.
yeah. But I will say
That's
this: when
wild.
it comes to Triple H, he's in messed out bind so much, but he's backing it up with the good wrestling. But the good
And,
wrestling based upon the story that's being told.
and you
And
said The
that's
Rock was the #1 merch seller?
wasn't he on?
Yeah.
Was it Saturday the report came out?
I
He's
don't
out
know,
here
Yeah.
but
playing.
this
He's out
news
here
to
playing
me.
Yeah.
chess.
Yeah.
They said
What
WrestleMania tickets
What
spiked.
makes more merch or tweets?
Well, no, the
Yeah,
tweets
well,
will send them people to the. So, all right, let's think about this. So that's a good point, right? That's why I'm saying the perfect entertainment. If you don't have the tweets, nobody's going to tune into your product. Because if you sign on I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter, and you see the #1 trend all the time is "We want Cody." Who the heck is Cody?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No matter
yeah.
what else is going on in the world, you're like, what is this? Or you just scrolling through your timeline and you see somebody that you know talking about "We want Cody." I'm like, huh? Because even with the more championship culture episodes that come, the more I find out people in my circle are wrestling fans. I'm like, really? Oh, wow. You know, because now it's
Well, to the
being
wrestling
presented.
fans,
Yeah, and the closet
Mm-hmm.
wrestling fans are coming out, and it's like, whoa, I didn't know that. Or like when somebody start engage you in the conversation, even to the point that you can always tell their level of involvement because of who they say, the wrestlers they watched, or the belt that they like. So
Mm-hmm.
because we had #1 merchandise sale and the #1 trend, I guarantee you that Friday, and I'm gonna say this every time The Rock shows up, those next 2 weeks of shows sell out
Mm-hmm.
because it's the
yeah,
thought of,
well,
oh God, is he gonna come back? Is he coming back? Oh, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen? And that's what
yep.
I love about this, and why I say it's good for business, but it's bad because we are literally sitting here arguing about all of this stuff being thrown at us because we're so used to give us what we want or be
The
frustrated because
circus.
we didn't get what we want. Because
Yeah,
we would be
you're right.
frustrated. How much time and like the post came out today about that moment in Black History when Kofi won. I remember
Yeah,
watching his run up to it. That gauntlet match was probably the most talked about thing because it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
Cody
Yeah.
reminded all of us at that moment, hey, y'all know I'm here. I'm that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all might have forgotten, but I'm here. And then that elimination chamber match, he said, I told y'all I was that guy. I didn't win this match, but it's okay because y'all are giving me my validation. So come Mania, I don't care what spot on the card it was. That was the match I was most invested in because they had showed us when we told Vince, no, we want him. We don't care how many loops and bounds we got to go through. Give us
Mm-hmm.
Cody. Same thing with Daniel Bryan. And I think now we wanted Cody and we wanted The Rock,
Mm-hmm.
but they shoved Cody in our face so much that now it's like, but wait, you told us we wanted Cody. I mean, yeah, I wanted The Rock. I've been wanting him for the last 3
yeah,
years, but
that's
now
true.
you're telling me I gotta have him, and then I gotta. Well, what do I want? I'm just mad right now. And now you're telling me
Yeah,
we're gonna
you are.
combine the belts. You don't know what's going on. Wait a minute, but what about everything that's like a hold on? What? It's a new. It's probably something that came out since we've been on the air. That another report that's happening. Oh, Triple H didn't know. Oh, Triple H is going to be one of the things I saw was Triple H is going to be replaced. That's why they put the Rock, and I was like, now y'all just getting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think they're
They're
going to
happy
take the
with Triple
man?
H. Cut it out.
They're very happy. Exactly. I don't care
And Triple
how
H and The
much
Rock
he's
are like
attached.
they're guys.
No matter how
Yeah.
much he's attached to Vince McMahon, that's his father-in-law. But Triple H ain't attached to that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Right.
Yeah.
I just hope that Thursday's press conference give these people
That's today, right? As of
yeah
as
Yeah,
give
of
Today.
them
recording
Yep.
it is
7
today.
o'clock.
give them
Okay, we
something
got
to
10
calm
minutes.
down. And I'm just
I
saying
mean,
I think the only thing that's going to help save this is we
Mm-hmm.
identify who the elder is and Solo's status. Because I'm
this
telling you, Solo, if he aligns himself with The Rock, that's going to shake the foundation of Roman because there's only one person that just shook him and had him off his game, and that was Seth Rollins. That's the only person. And remember, Roman cut that promo for the purpose too. Nobody attached that. He said, "Let me talk about my brother."
My little
He
brother.
talking about this, my little brother. He over there defending the belt against the people I already beat. You can go over there and be the very best #2 guy, or you can come here and try to get and lose to the top guy. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
you move Triple H. What you got for that? Because that was some real everything that people have been talking about, and look at it now. So I think it's
It's
good for business because it's doing its purpose.
this is ridiculous.
Uh it's
This
interesting in this time.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
definitely is.
it's getting late and it's time to wrap this up. But this is unresolved, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I want the listeners who are listening to and those who've enjoyed the conversation, because everybody's sizzled. Usually, what happens is when everybody sizzles, everybody cooks, everybody brings these ideas and concepts. We can kind of, I think, between our four Avengers like minds. Sorry, Brian, I know you don't know what you're talking about. We can take down the big boss, right? Like, okay, everybody brings something to the table. It's like, okay, cool, we can piece it together. Okay, come on, let's fellas saddle up. We can take them, and we're the heroes. I've
He
heard
was
everybody's
that
point
man.
of view. Yeah,
He was
yeah.
that
Well,
man.
I'm the biggest one, so just imagine like Ant-Man. I'm not slow anyway. Uh,
No, he was that man. You're like the Hawk.
sure, that works
Okay.
because I like that line. He's always like anyway. Anyways, it's a different rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I'm I'm not I am not convinced any more than when we got started. It's because I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm in my notes. Brian H said there has to be a crack in the bloodline, right? We got to finish this story
Right,
somehow.
right.
We don't know if it's going to finish it or if it's going to evolve. That was Cody Rhodes' justification in introducing The Rock, allegedly, right? It was implied. It wasn't said, right? It was implied. Fair enough. We all know The Rock is not a full-time wrestler. We all know The Rock is not about to have another run. We all know
Yep.
that the UFL starts off in the spring because I've seen him 13 times on my television and all these commercials on the Big Ten. So, as
Yep.
soon as WrestleMania is done with, he's going to be right to the sidelines promoting spring football. We know he's not sticking around long enough. And we know he's not beating Roman at WrestleManias because he's not going to be there full time. He's not going to have time to leave and come back. And then who beats The Rock? We got a rubber match, Roman versus Rock 2.
Remember the dirt
It's
she
too
said he is.
it's listen to me.
That he's around
It may be
for.
true.
Didn't he say he's back for a while? He's back for a run.
He
He's not
pushing to
back.
Yeah,
beat Roman.
Yep.
he is on
Yep.
the board of directors. He's going to be around for a while, but he doesn't not to be no wrestler full time. Here's what I'm saying. How do you justify Cody Rhodes bringing back to Rock to take down the bloodline? How do you expect The Rock to come back to WrestleMania just to lose in potentially a one-off? Right? That doesn't make any sense to me. Right? How do you and Brady says you have to beat Roman in order to further the storyline, but you can't beat Roman. Because what sense does it make if you're gonna have Roman lose at WrestleMania? Why not have him lose to your biggest budding star? And that's an
There it
opportunity that you're
is.
never going to get again. So why
Yeah.
would you pass it up for the sake of The Rock being there if The Rock is just there to lose? If The Rock is just the last person that Roman needs on his resume to solidify him as one of the greats, which he doesn't, but say that's the thing that puts him over the top, right? Just so he can break Hogan's record. So in your face, Brian H. Right? Is that more important than the opportunity they have with Cody Rhodes in making a new superstar in Cody, Captain America? Doesn't make sense to me. Also, and I'm just telling you why this doesn't make this. It's not clear to me. Also, Triple H is doing this crap on purpose. It's because he's making us pay attention to every show. He's making us pay attention to press. Somebody's going to get caught slipping. It's because somebody already got caught slipping. Brian H's good friend, I believe it was Lance Anoa'i. I don't know if it was him. I don't know if it was another one of the family members. They made comments. They said, "Oh yeah, they requested a bunch of us that was originally supposed to be in the tribal court originally,
Yeah,
in the
I
original
remember
concept."
that.
But you know what he said? He said the reason we couldn't do it is because we had too many members of part of organizations that were contracted, and it wasn't going
And
to work at the time,
MLW because of the
right?
MLW lawsuit.
Right.
And look who's a free
Rikishi
agent.
Rikishi has finished up his obligations. Zilla Fatu asked for his release from Reality of Wrestling, developmental.
There it is.
Jacob
But he
Fatu
really
has
ain't
made it
need
clear
his
that
release because Booker T would have sent him.
well,
Right.
he didn't want to continue. He started doing indie bookings. He wanted to get all of a sudden he wanted to get some more hands-on experience instead of kind of learning because he just started wrestling, right? Jacob Fatu, free agent, right? He made it very clear when they was like, "Oh, this is our independent bloodline." He's like, "Oh, no, there's only one tribal chief," and I acknowledge him. Family,
Yep.
Rikishi just made that belt
There
with
it
the
is.
bloodline logo, the Samoan
You
Dynasty
saw it?
logo, and the We the Ones logo.
Oh, we about to re-hit. We about to only in the bottom of
Listen,
the third is a SummerSlam.
listen to me.
We ain't going nowhere.
All
But
those
remember,
guys, from what I
Rikishi
know,
both got him in trouble last time.
yeah, from what I noticed, the Fatu Anawai Wrestling Dynasty, a lot of those guys are free agents and they're available now.
Yep.
We're trying to figure out how The Rock plays into this. Why do all this just for Roman to beat him? Where's the end game? Does Roman hold it for another year and Cody wins it somehow else, or Cody wins
Yes.
at a different event? Do you
Yes.
miss out? Do you miss out on the opportunity to capitalize on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? What's more important, finishing this storyline? Because to be honest with you, it's not going to go anywhere because it's pretty much you're pretty much saying that the bloodline's going to end unless it transitions, right? Jimmy finally walks away. Solo gets caught slipping. Say you bring in other pieces. I don't know. Right? Say you bring in, you bring in Jacob Fatu or whatever the case may be. Say you bring in Lance and everyone else for this guest spot. Where do you go? These guys, Roman's barely on TV every week. Why would you give up the one guy that's kissing babies, that's making towns, that's paying for kids to go to WrestleMania, that's your biggest baby face, that's been on TV, that's a personal friend of Shaquille O'Neal? Why would you give up that? That's going to push your business forward for the sake of finishing a story that's bound to end. That does
You
not
forgot one
make
thing.
sense to me.
You forgot one thing. He is
And what's that?
your pass for the wrestlers from AEW. They gonna come because of Cody.
And pretty much he's inside recruiting at the end of the day. Because they're looking at
Hey.
what they did with Cody and said, well, shoot, if they push you and you were the competition, I don't think they're going to be mad at us. We can come get a fresh start.
Look at Jade.
Right.
Let me ask y'all this. Y'all know that saying I hate, but I gotta ask. You know how you say when somebody's super over? You know what y'all internet people favorite line is?
What's that?
They don't need the title.
Yeah.
So has he reached that level where he doesn't need the title?
Listen to me. He doesn't, but we're not talking about the title. We're talking about the opportunity to crown the next king of WWE. Think about it. The bloodline is coming to an end. Do you sacrifice crowning the next king so a story can end? That's like think about it. We talked about it, I don't know, probably a month or so ago, where it's like, okay, the bloodline went all the way up and like, okay, cool. Now we're on the downswing. You know what I mean? We're on the back half of it now, right? We see empires rise. We're seeing the part of the story where this empire is going to fall. Is watching the empire fall bigger and more important than crowning the next king that's going to lead you into the next decade? Is WWE going to miss out on this opportunity if Cody Rhodes does not defeat Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship of the Galaxy?
No. I don't think
I don't
so.
trust
I don't think
judgment.
I know, because I know I'm Team Roman and I've been enjoying, because we've been eating steak, and every time I log onto my Cash App, I like the numbers that I see. That is because of my tribal chief. But I just think, because I look at it like Cody's going to get it. You know what I mean? And I don't
at WrestleMania though, do you pass up that moment though? Like, let me tell you, think about it, even if Cody does win it, to your point, it's not going to be the same, because it's not going to be the same flair. It's not going to be the same circumstances. It's not going to be the same celebration. It's not going to be in front of the world. It's going to be in front of the section of the wrestling audience. Madison Square Garden, even that's a small venue. Yes, it's historic. I appreciate it. It's 10,000 people. You talking about potentially
like
40 to 50,000 people
I'll be honest
for
with you.
that one moment.
I'll be honest with you. If I was a betting person, you had a better chance of me betting last year that Roman was going to retain than this year. This year, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's how much, like, if I'm being honest and not trolling and not hopeful.
So you saying you don't think he has a chance of retaining?
No.
This year. Okay. So with that being said, real quick, that means on paper, that would mean The Rock would have to win. But if you look at your intelligent way of looking at this, what is that? I'm asking this is because all the wrestling minds say the same thing. Bruce Pritchard says it all the time. He always says, "So now what? What now?" It's like, okay, cool.
That's the
Rock
reason
wins.
why I think
who beats The Rock?
No, but see, that's the thing. I think Cody done made a side deal. As much as I think it's best for business for him to give up this spot, I don't know what that side deal is, but there was a smirk.
That's the $1 million question. Because think about it.
So let me ask you this, because before you ask that, Brian made a comment about this. Cody need the belt. If Cody didn't win the Rumble, he would not need the belt. How much more can you do with Cody in 2023 to make us care about him? Because one thing that we keep forgetting, and I hate to bring this up, we still got a Money in the Bank briefcase just hanging out.
It's irrelevant. That is true. It's irrelevant.
That's
it's irrelevant because it's irrelevant because they didn't put it out of our sight. It's out of our mind. Our truth has distracted us with that Money in the Bank briefcase right now. If you think about it, we're not even talking about Damian Priest being senior Money in the Bank, right? I'm not saying Cody can get that briefcase. I'm not saying that Cody doesn't beat Seth and then he get cashed in and he loses it and now we feel bad for him. And now that starts we got to get Cody back a belt in the next year. But what do you do with Cody from, let's just say we passed Mania, right?
You just said it.
What do you do with Cody from?
That's it.
You just said exactly. It. You get what I'm saying? What do you do with him? Because at this point,
you blame Punk, so you pivot Cody versus Seth, and he gets cashed in.
No, listen, he gets cashed in. So now, what do you do with him? How much more can we? Whoa! He just cut a promo. Okay, great. I came to see Cody. Oh, look, he did something else with. Okay, he becomes the new Make-A-Wish guy. Awesome, great. Why am I going to buy a ticket to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown in September with Cody being the marquee person? If it's not now, will we have enough things that we can start and stop? Because I keep saying it, he's been back, and the only title that he's touched has been tag team titles, right? He's not going for Intercontinental. He's not going for US. He's not going for anything else, right? He's so over right now. If he didn't win that Rumble, we would not be worried about this title right now. But because he done backed us into a corner by way of thinking, he won that Rumble.
That's exactly what it is.
Cody is so over before the Rumble. Cody was so over no matter who he was wrestling. It was like, because think about it, when Seth got done with Shinsuke and went right to Cody, we were still interested, right? But what do you do with him? I honestly don't think he don't survive. I don't think that he survived post-Mania without a title, because that storyline is going to become, I don't want to say, it's going to have that effect. Because remember,
say it. It's the truth.
Fans, it's going, and people are going to, how much more can you cheer for? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, because remember, I'm always go back to this moment in WWE because it was the craziest thing. Randy Orton was on a tear through WWE, kicking everybody in the head, remember? Booed out of his mind, right? The moment Cena was going against Randy, and it was like, yay, the hero coming. Wait a minute, we don't like Cena. We're going to cheer Randy. And it completely changed the whole thing. It was like, but we were just booing Randy yesterday. No matter what he did, it was because we were tired of Cena at that moment. And then they had to do something different. You get what I'm saying? Then it was like, well, now Randy has become the face. So I'm just scared that we're going to be in that position. I'm just going to use September. Post SummerSlam, right? SummerSlam
Mhm.
happens, that could be just as many fans or as much attention because the party of the summer, if it's positioned right, that if you have Cody in that title match, where he's going to be so close to the Hogan ring, you're not going to want him to win it because it's like, well, he only got what 3 more weeks before he beats the Hogan ring. So why would you do it then? If you don't do it at Mania, why get him that close? And I'm telling you, if we would have just last year this time wrote our way out of this situation and just had Cody say, "I want the WWE Championship," Roman would have still been as dominant with that Universal title because he said it. That's the title I made important. I made that title special.
Go back
And we
2
will
years
always.
ago and not merge the titles in the first place with Brock.
Oh yeah,
Well-
no. I'm saying it's fine if he merged it, but remember when Cody won the Rumble, he said, "I'm
Yeah.
coming for." Instead of he could have just said, "I want the WWE title," and that's how you would have unmerged it.
Mhm.
Because remember, the only reason if you go on WWE shop, I mean WWE.com and look at the superstar, they still are counting the days for the Universal title and the WWE Championship, and they're counting the time as the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. They're doing that by design for the records to show that this person has held this belt to beat this person. You could have inserted any name in there and said, guess what? He is the longest reigning, just like they did with Bianca, the longest reigning women's champion. Because they stopped saying Raw SmackDown. They said she's the longest reigning women's champion in modern day history. Roman Reigns can be the longest reigning champion in modern day history. He could go down as the greatest champion of this era, the greatest champion of all time, whatever it may be, because we're not going to live to see another person with this type of historic reign unless they do something crazy. I'm saying unless they do something crazy with Cody gets it, he doesn't lose until WrestleMania 77. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if we would have just said Cody is challenging for the WWE Championship, and Roman could have still had that Universal title, and it would have still felt this special because let's be honest, y'all cared about the Universal title more than the WWE Championship for how many years straight? Almost 2, right?
Yeah.
That was
I never liked the blue belt until Roman made it blueable, and I was like, "Yep, he's blue belt." Yep.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie though. I ain't gonna lie. I care when Bobby had it. Bobby.
Oh, the W. Oh, yeah, I mean but it had those moments like when Big E won it. We were like, yes, Big E. You know what I mean? But then it was like the Miz got it. We were like, all right, who you transitioning to? Who you dropping it to? You know what I mean? And I'm not discrediting Miz, but it was like, no, I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying we knew he was a transitional champion.
He played his part because Ray played that same part, and guess who also played that same part? The Iron Sheik, right? Bob Backlund came off.
There it is.
Bob Backlund came off a crazy run.
Yep.
And Bob Backlund reign was longer than Roman's. Nobody's catching Bob Backlund at this point, right? Like Hogan's the only person you can attain to, and that in this modern era that anybody will come close to. And it's like even when Hulkamania was born, they had to hurry up and get the title off of Bob Backlund, and they put it on the biggest villain they could. But he was a transitional champion. It's because they needed that villain to help create Hulkamania, right? So I say, okay,
like remember when the Miz won the WWE title, you needed a villain, and remember the whole thing was Miz Girl got created. That little lady was on our TV screen because look who the hero was that was going to take it from the Miz. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, we needed something. We needed a dastardly. And I'm just saying, if we want Roman to, and I'm saying if the plan is for Roman to surpass Hogan, okay, cool. But stop pushing so much stuff in our face that's going to make us, okay, it might be a thing we're like, because
I think it's on purpose.
Look what Gunther did. Think about it, if Gunther loses, we're okay with it now, right? Think about it, if Gunther loses
600 days,
we're okay with it, right? Like when Sasha lost, we were sad, but it was like, oh, she's the longest reigning women's champion in modern day history. That's a claim that nobody will probably be able to touch, unless Rhea Ripley surpasses her amount. Which, let's be honest, do you think Becky going to take it from her at Mania and halt that because she was going to be getting kind of close to Bianca's reign?
Yeah, because they still need established names to continue to build that legacy of the women's world championship.
Yep.
Right.
But
so what about this guy?
I still think he deserves something in front of in front of a crowd. He needs something in front of the crowd.
They still owe him. This is what I'm saying. We talking about Cody Rhodes. I swear to goodness, I was almost done. I was about to wrap up, man. Swear to goodness.
Yeah, that's a what, to be continued.
Bro, Cody Rhodes saying, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice this for the better of the company. Right. So did Drew McIntyre. It's 3 years later, but in wrestling, you never know who's hot, who's not, what's going on in the moment when you gotta wait to get your like they still owe Drew McIntyre a moment. And then he just attacked Cody Rhodes. And nobody knows who the heck he's supposed to wrestle. We don't have time to keep going into this. We've established good for business, bad for business.
yeah,
I don't
good
know
point.
where we even stand on the
I hate to
situation.
say this.
I think
This actually is a good point.
but that was it meant something to him. And then it meant something to the Monday Night Wars because of
I was gonna say it was the Monday Night Wars that made that special.
yeah,
If you
it
take
was
away the Monday Night
what happened.
Wars, and remember the Big E win was big because Big E kept saying it. Oh, I'm getting that title tonight. I'm taking that title. Oh, I'm taking that title. And what did he do? He got
they
that title.
report Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was just
Lamar
saying
Jackson was going off that night, even though they lost.
Ooh.
Brothers, we've done it again. We've exhausted this.
Yeah,
and
that
for
segment
once,
was a whole hour. That's
no,
about
it
to
was
be
though.
a segment on YouTube.
It might have to be. This is ridiculous. But definitely, please, everybody, follow us on social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. We got to get out of here, man.
Yep.
We're going to drive ourselves crazy. We appreciate you all in the comments. We appreciate you all who tuned in and listened. Please go back and help us rebook this situation because we're trying to figure it out. We need to get to this press conference because somebody's going to get caught slipping. They're going to drop Easter eggs. They're going to make some statements. They gotta. This is for a reason. Like, how do you make a press conference in a scripted situation? This is how it's working. We are like biting at the chomp to figure out, we got to get it because somebody they're leaving clues about what's going on, and I feel like we're all being worked, and we need to get to the bottom of this. But we're not going to get to the bottom of that tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next week right here in the Wrestling Realm. Head over to YouTube, youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm to check out
Continue the
Championship
conversation
Culture.
on X.
Yeah, and meet us on X. Like, we'll tag us, the Wrestling Realm. Social media posts and clips will go up. Brian has already been working on the show to put them up, so please engage in the conversation. We want to hear what you think. Remember, youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. Championship Culture every Tuesday, 8 p.m. You don't want to miss out on it. We got to get to the bottom of this. We are on the road to WrestleMania, and I am just as confused than I have ever been, and I don't remember being as confused on the road to WrestleMania before. God dang it, Triple H. But enough is going on in the world of professional wrestling. Stay tuned. Join us next week. We will be back. We got to get out of here. Trust me. Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We're just getting started. WrestleMania is around the corner. We out.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes!